You're listening to For Better and Worse with Jess and Rach.
Welcome, everybody. This is For Better and Worse,
The podcast.
the podcast. I'm Jess,
And I'm Rach.
and I'm in a weird way today.
She said I'm in a weird way. And I was like, this could make for something good or bad.
This could make for something interesting. Let's say that.
Okay, I'm happy for you. I'm for us.
Yeah, I'm at like a neutral point. You know, I almost feel like life doesn't feel real right now.
I get that. Yeah, I think that's called disassociation. But
I don't know. Yeah, it could be.
Could be.
It just feels like I'm living in a dream right now. I took ZQL last night.
oh,
So
I
it
love
could be
ZQL.
like me too. It could be like the aftermath of the fog of,
Yes.
of really being in the
in a good sleep.
in a comatose state.
In a good sleep.
That is some serious sleep.
I agree.
I'm
Matt-
not gonna lie, like we are a little addicted to some nighttime meds. Joe and I.
Joey and I.
I've been calling him Joey all weekend for no fucking reason, but it's sticking.
What if he could be Joey? No.
I just don't
I
like
like
it. It's the same way I don't like Jesse for me, you know? Jesse the
No.
cowgirl. Round him up,
Round 'em
cowgirl.
up. Jesse and Joey.
Yeah, we're lightweight addicted to some nighttime meds. Just don't tell anybody. I tried to wean Joe off of that when I first met him. He's like, you know,
it's
when
like supposed to be non-habit forming.
yeah, but when his late wife passed away,
Yeah.
that was the only way he could sleep, and he really relied
yeah.
on it,
Yeah.
which is understandable.
I
And then
think
he
that's
like,
okay for a season.
yeah,
You know?
for a season, but
For a
he
season.
like was doing it a lot, and I was like, oh, we don't need that, you know. And then we're
Yeah.
like, if you really can't sleep, let's switch to melatonin, which I told you I take way too many milligrams of. I didn't know. I thought
Yeah.
that was like normal, and they taste good.
Yeah.
And now
The way
we're
the
like,
gummies?
let's up this shit, and
Mhm.
we now take NyQuil or ZQL.
NyQuil.
Hey, when ZQL's out,
NyQuil.
when ZQL's out, we'll definitely.
Well, but NyQuil
We'll
in
fuck
your
around with some
wine at
NyQuil.
night. Yeah. Fuck around with some NyQuil. We'll get weird.
We'll get weird. How the
Okay.
hell are you, right?
I'm good. After last episode, I realized all the stuff that like I didn't tell you, and now it's like in my head I was saving it for the pod, and now I'm like, do I call it quits on the stories? Do I move on? Do I try to get more relevant? Because now it's like,
I felt like we were a little shocked about recording, like first time
Oh.
recording jitters.
oh yeah, it
just
was.
like, and I showed up late. We were thrown off a little bit
yeah,
to the session, and now I feel like we're at ease. We're
We're at
back
ease.
in our spot.
But I do have. Well, I have a couple of I believe this was a segment for like 2 weeks last season where it was shit Josh says.
Oh yeah,
So I have a couple of those.
Okay.
I do have a stupid fight of the week.
Okay.
So we can,
yeah, I have one too.
but also before we get started, I
Stupid
wrote this
meltdown.
down. I did write this down, and I was like, we've got to talk about it.
Okay, let's hear it.
The photographer who deleted all the photos when
Yes,
he
this
wasn't
was-
fed.
highly requested by our listeners. Obviously, being two photographers ourselves, what do you think? My anxiety could never delete a card.
No. My anxiety.
I love a making a stand moment. I love someone
Yeah.
putting their foot down.
But I mean, it's not that I could see it because obviously I wouldn't do it, but it's like leaving a wedding if that's against your contract. But it's like in your contract, does it say if you don't feed me, you don't get your photos?
Right.
No feed, no photo?
No food, no
No
food, no photo.
Like probably not,
that is
bro.
very extreme and very funny. I
Yeah.
think for us as photographers to hear, we were like, hats off, bro. Like,
it's
that's
just, like,
funny. But in
not
reality, when I
funny.
thought about it, I was like, my anxiety could never.
But also it's like, who is this photographer?
How
Is
kinda
this real?
fucked up? I don't
But,
know.
that's the thing. I'm like, who's the photographer? What's their side of the story? What
Yeah, was there more going on that we
Yeah.
don't know about for you to delete their photos? Like, but also,
did they
like,
not pay you?
did
Like,
the couple refuse you food, or was it the shitty caterers who always
Yes.
refuse us food?
yeah,
Because then that you're like punishing the wrong person.
right.
Yeah, it seemed we didn't know the whole story, and I definitely didn't read the articles. They just were constantly reposted by our photographer friends, and I'm just like, that's funny.
Yeah,
And like, we never get fed, and it's a whole thing. But
yeah.
extreme lengths they went to make a stand. But
I truly like. I
Funny
just part of me
nonetheless.
doesn't believe it. Part of me thinks it's just like an online spoof.
yeah,
Because who
who would do
who
that?
started the rumor? Where does it go? Like, I think we all just started sharing the meme, and
Mhm.
it's like, but who? What is the story here? I needed to know more. So
That's our take on it.
that's my take on it. If
Like,
it's real,
okay,
it's
in
insane.
reality, would we ever?
God,
No.
no.
I couldn't imagine. I also like have memory card anxiety as is, so
Yeah.
I could never just delete someone's fucking memories, man.
Yeah, it's very insane.
That's a shady thing to do.
It is a shady thing to do. But
Also, it comes back to like contract stuff, which I agree. Like, what was really going on?
You could, I mean, I don't know. You gotta be
You
ready.
could have just, I don't know. There's so many other things you could have done besides like delete their card. You could have just left too and
Yeah.
like kept their photos.
Right.
But we don't know that any of
I
that's
don't know.
true.
Yeah, I feel like it's one of those things like there has to be more to the story than that.
Yeah.
There has to be. Or he's
Ain't no
just
way.
a psycho.
Ain't no fucking way.
But also a man photographer.
Classic.
Say no more. I'll say no more.
Subtle dig. Subtle dig.
Subtle dig. Down with men.
Ah,
Ugh. But
that's funny.
okay. What did you have going on? How are you?
Yeah. I went to Nashville this weekend.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Any shenanigans? Any Joe refusing to get in an Uber, so drunk on the side of the road?
We weren't. He wasn't riding that wave. We just had a really good time. I went with my best friend Michelle and her boyfriend Justin with Joe and I, a little couples getaway trip.
Nice.
And it was awesome. We did brunch, we did drinks, we did dancing, we did East Nashville, which is so dope. I mean, we went to Broadway. We of course did that one night because we had to. But in reality, it's like East Nashville was where it was at. We went to the diviest dive bars because Justin, Michelle's boyfriend, knows a lot about Nashville. He's like, I've been there like 30 times. And I was like, 30 fucking times? I mean, he was best place to go to Nashville with Justin because he just knew fucking everything. He was our tour guide. He just was taking us to these cool places we never would have thought. And last night we were there. We ended up at this place called France. And this place, words can't even describe. I just have to put it there. If you're in Nashville, it's a must check out. I'm talking the diviest, oldest bar, and they were smoking inside. I'm talking.
Is that legal?
I think it is. You're allowed to.
Whoa.
At this place, guys, the oldest fucking joint, and there's just karaoke going. I have videos that
Did you karaoke?
Justin did. He played "Should Have Been a Cowboy," and I'll tell you, it was a sight to fucking see.
Oh my god.
It was awesome. Awesome experience overall. I have no like crazy funny stories, except that I got very bad motion sickness and I thought I was out for the count. And this has become an overall problem. Uber rides.
Really?
I cannot. And I was in the front seat and I was doing all the things. And it's really hit or miss with me. It's like usually when I'm drinking too, it kind of helps. And that sounds weird. Yeah. But it does. And this was just an immediate no. I seen what I needed to see in that car, an immediate no.
Yep.
And I'm just wondering, like, other than like proactive care, like what I can be doing. And I'm just leaving this out to the masses. My motion sickness is impeding on my fun because the second night I had to drive around and like not really drink, which is fine. Not a big deal. I don't like need to, but it was like I have to drive. Otherwise, like that will be no fun.
When you said this, I just had a flash fucking back
to my bachelorette party.
No, to when Madison and I went to Austin for that filmmakers workshop. And let me tell you, wild time. I've never been like
party bussing.
Oh yeah, somebody turned like 30, and so he ordered a party bus, and he was like,
"As one does,
first 30 people on the party bus, like goes." And so Madison, I say to everyone around me, nobody tell Madison, nobody tell her she'll want to go. She's been drinking. We're not going. We're not doing it. Of course, she's like, Rach, I'm going.
That's the Enneagram 7 in her.
Oh God, and I'm over here like, I am not here for this. I was in like my overalls and a striped shirt. I was just looking like a kindergartner going to school, and we're on this bus. And, we have a, fine time. I'm not babysitting, I'm, having a couple drinks, but we end up at a karaoke bar, but I was like, I don't want to do that. So like a bunch of us end up just like hanging out outside of the bus and outside of the karaoke bar, just like talking, chatting. But we ended up getting an Uber and going home. Madison is like, in a bad way. Like she's like, that drunk where you're just like, you're happy, but you're also a little incapacitated.
Mm-hmm.
Like when the Uber came up, it's just like, I feel like when Ubers are coming up, when you're, you know, Lyft drivers coming up, act right. Act right.
Act like you're not.
Madison's on a curb. Flat back.
Oh my God.
Flat back. And I was like, get up.
I've never seen her this way.
So we
in
get
a bad way.
She's in a bad way. We get in the lift. She's like, you know, slumped over.
Oh my.
Slumped over. And then she wakes up and she goes, we need to pull over. And I said, no, we don't. I'm just like, no, we don't. And she goes, we do. We need to pull over.
The worst.
Brandon, the Uber driver, never whipped so quick. He found the exit, got off into a parking lot, 30 seconds flat, opened the door. I shoved Madison out of it, hold her by her pants while she hurls. And I'm like,
God.
I'm so sorry. I think she ate something. She ate something off, you know, like
and this dude's like, she's trash.
but she's I was just a little bit car sick. This feels like car sick. And I'm like, is that what
Dude,
it is?
The kiss of death is like closing your eyes in the car. No. Keep them open. Keep them on the road. Keep your eyes on the road.
And then you like somehow applaud the drunk girl for making like good job.
Every time.
Good job. You made it. You didn't puke in the car.
It's honestly, it's an award. If you can alert someone before you throw up, and then when you throw up, it's like, fuck yeah.
Oh,
because I ended up throwing up in Nashville.
Yeah.
Because the motion sickness was so bad. And this was the next morning. And I was like, fucking Nashville, baby. Like after I got out of the bathroom, it's like worth being like, fuck yeah, let's go. And I like laid down for like a few minutes, got back up, and I was like, let's fucking go. But also couldn't really let's fucking go because I was driving.
Have you just been were you just taking
So we got Dramamine. So after. But it wasn't like but also Dramamine is drowsy. I know there's less drowsy, but.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. If you have it out there, the bracelets, do they work? Is it something I should do?
Yeah.
Also,
I think it is. And when I used to work at the pharmacy, there were like patches that people like when they would go on cruises and you'd have these patches on.
But I would seriously wear that. I really will do whatever it takes.
Yeah,
because that was
miserable. You were on a
plane.
Oh, I guess you went to Utah.
Yeah, I'm fine on planes. Like, yes, like the original like takeoff and landing is rough. But once I'm in it, like I'm fine. And usually I'm sitting by a window. Because like constant like highway driving, I'm fine. You know, but it's like that stop and go and stopping and turning. And
when you're not driving.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I get that.
So overall, Nashville fucking rocks. Go to Franz. Go to East Nash.
Nice.
Go with Justin. I'll say that. Or hit Justin up for some wrecks. Because you know what he's fucking doing.
Perfect.
Yep.
Okay, do we want to do some shit Josh says moments? Okay, so Josh and I have been doing this. He's, as we've talked about, a 6 on the Enneagram, which basically means we have to use the buddy system at all times. He's not going to do anything unless he's got
a buddy,
an accountability buddy. And I now have more time, so we've been doing this like 30 days, 30 minutes, like either walking, jogging, whatever you want to do on the treadmill. Like this weekend we went for a walk, but it was really cold for a while there. So we've been doing that. 30 for 30. 30 for 30.
30 for 30.
And
we love a catchy
phrase.
Catchy phrase.
Josh, there are some things there, right? Like I've talked a lot about like my relationship with health and food and exercise and like recovering from eating disorders. And Josh is on his own journey with that, and I have to like respect it. There are certain things that like we don't talk about, like he calorie counts. I say we cannot talk about that. Different things, and I'm like, if that's what you want to do right now, I can't make you see things the way I see them. So do what you want. And Josh, whenever he starts like a new leaf, right, a new fitness thing, a new diet or whatever you want to call it, he orders suppies on suppies. He's getting the supplements. He's getting the green tea extract. Big sup guy.
Big suppy guy.
Yeah.
Which actually are all bogus.
Amazon Prime. But then he gets what he's called a sauna suit. And I said, what is this? And in my head, I'm like thinking it, I don't know. I was picturing electric blankets. And so, but no. I get into the bathroom and they're trash bags. They're they're trash bags with elastic on them. And I try to have this conversation with Josh. I'm like, what's that about? Like, you're losing water weight. I hope you're, I'm trying to be like, I hope you're drinking a lot of water if you're doing that, because it can dehydrate you. Wrestlers do this to cut weight right before weigh-ins. Like, this isn't like real. And Josh goes, I almost bought a $400 sauna. This is $19.99. I basically made money. He's like, be lucky. Be lucky I didn't buy the $400 sauna.
I basically made money by making this investment. Oh my. I would love to see what this contraption looks like.
Oh, I can post it.
Yeah, I feel like
he hasn't been wearing it, obviously. He wore it twice. And
it's something to wear while working out.
Yeah, it makes you sweat more. Which he's always talked, he likes sweating. But also this summer we discovered he's allergic to his own heat. We have had to take him to stat care for like overheating, and like he'll get rashes that are actually like bacterial like issues. He's had to be on antibiotics. So I also reminded him of, remember, you're allergic to your own inner body heat. Be aware of that. And then number 2 for the week was that song, the all my ladies pop your pussy like this, shake your body, don't stop, don't miss.
Yeah.
Okay, so I forget why that song was in my head, and then I was just like dancing around. I was like, what is popping your pussy? I say, and then I make the joke, I'm like, is it like queefing? And Josh goes, if it do, yours be poppin'.
Wait, you be queefing? Oh, Rach, you be queefing?
Jess, this is a judgment-free zone.
It is, but I need to know. Some girl, I just know. It's like,
if you put me in a certain position,
yeah,
it's a vacuum.
Doggy.
Yes, and it's a vacuum that
it's inevitable.
And then if you go in there after the vacuum hits and you hit a button, it all
isn't it when
loose.
Like you kind of roll down on the pelvis?
Oh my god! Like, sometimes him and I have to have a break where we are literally laughing for like a good minute.
Listen, I don't want to laugh about it. I want to keep it moving. I want to just be like,
oh, it's not like a little. It's not a little poot. It's like a It is a. It
is a helicopter. It is very much a
machine
releasing.
Gun. Yeah, it's a machine gun.
The air. And that's really what that is.
Oh, yeah. But.
Oh, my God. But in pussy popping, back to pussy popping.
Back to the original question.
I think it's very much like, it's almost like shaking your butt. Like the pussy be popping.
But then that's just butt popping.
I know, but
is there a sound that it's supposed to make? What are we referencing here?
If it's any sound, it would be a queef.
Yes, I'm saying it's a little queef. It's
a little.
But he just goes, yours be popping.
And that's what we call a green flag in relationships.
A green flag. Is that a segue, Jess? We see a segue?
No, because I have something to say before we get to the beat the meat.
Okay.
And that is, I wrongly spoke about. I wrongly spoke completely about this killer whale bit I did. And this is worth a story, okay? I have to say, I have no idea what I was talking about.
Did a listener call you out? Or
no,
did you just...
no, but I really thought about it because I was like, hey, you know what? I kind of left that story pretty open. So let me do some deep dive and really, give some more information if anyone was interested, which I'm sure nobody is. And that's fine. You could just skip 15 seconds on this pod if you're not interested. But this story I heard from Joe. Okay.
Oh God.
Joe said it to me and I was like, no fucking way. I'm like, that's so fucking sad. It's like this whale died. Whatever. But I'm telling you, Keiko, who is the whale in Free Willy, died in 2003.
Oh.
So we are very far behind.
20 years.
But if you don't know the story, I think it's worth the story. And I misspoke in saying like the whole bit of like we made a movie about freeing Willy and didn't free Willy. Well, the whole plan for the movies and the whole Free Willy Foundation, which is actually a real thing, spent millions of dollars trying to reintegrate him back into the wild. So I need to say that I was like, that's a pretty shitty thing to say because like there was a lot of work done and I appreciate that. And I need to give that the respect it deserves.
Oh my God. Not me calling out them in our
Well, we didn't know.
We
didn't know. But now I just want to say that there was a whole plan to like I said, to reintegrate him back into the wild. It was like over $20 million. But he did live to be 27, which is old for whales in captivity. Because average, no, I guess that's not. They said average life. Maybe I spoke that wrong. Okay, let's fact check that. Skip that out.
Did he died prematurely?
He did. He didn't have a very long life once he was back into the wild. But what's really sad is that when
did he never find a home?
No, because listen to this. He was released in Iceland in 2002. So he only lasted a year.
Oh.
But he swam straight to Norway. That seemed to be a search for human companionship. Like he was always just searching for humans, which is so fucking sad. They had a GPS on him. They monitored his heart rate. They like kept tabs on him like they do. But he turned up in a village of Halsa in 2002, and he allowed like the villagers and people there to like play with him, even like crawl on his back. Like he just loved that. And then it became like such an attraction that people knew that they can swim with Keiko in that area, and people were always going there and like, you know, impeding on the village, which is like kind of fucked up. So animal protection authorities had to like step in and like ban that. But he was like encouraging it and loving it.
He wanted it. He needed it.
He needed it. And he died. He died of pneumonia.
Whales can die of pneumonia.
Yeah, they said it was like a quick
pneumonia
death.
takes no prisoners.
It really does. Pneumonia's fucked up.
We haven't been talking about pneumonia enough.
No,
lately.
because a lot of people die of that, and that's
They
kind of.
do.
But I think it's like other things among pneumonia. But I didn't mean to misspeak on that. The Free Willy Foundation and people who worked really years, and millions of dollars to reintegrate this whale who only lived a year in the wild. But
that is
at least you tried, okay? But I was like, I really dogged them.
That's very sad, and I wish I did.
But then when I was reading this article, I got flashbacks of at the end of every Free Willy movie was like, donate money to this foundation. And that never registered to me when I was like talking shit in the last episode. But I was like, there was always like
so
some
where
fun
did
reason.
Joe get this info?
No fucking clue. Didn't even bring it up to him. I was like, you know what? Don't ever misspeak about killer whales to the killer whale queen ever again, because I'm only speaking good news on this microphone about killer whales. Okay? So there you have it. If you care, thank you for listening.
Thank you for listening. Well, if you bring that up to Joe, it could be a stupid fight of the week. Could be good material.
We had a stupid meltdown of the week.
Did you? Okay, we can get into that. We have time? Yeah. Okay. Mine was
Go
just
for yours.
Maybe it was like last Thursday or whatever. And it's just one of those days, right? Where it's like thumbs off. You know,
I know it.
We're trying. I get home and probably around like 6, and he's like, I'm starving. But like I had bought food. I had bought like a couple like meals, like literally I bought the ingredients for the specific dinners, which I like never do. So like what was on the menu was like roasted, like, you know, potatoes, peppers, and like these chicken sausages that we got. Takes a while. Takes a while to make that. Like an hour or so in the oven. Just let them cook. And so Josh is like checking. I'm like, babe, we're just waiting. Like he just like worked out, so he was hungry, and I was like, just wait a minute. Like, and I remember being like, at the end, it was like, there's 5. Like I was like, just 5 more minutes. I'm sitting in the living room watching TV, and he comes in with
He's reached his threshold
with 2 Eggo waffles.
He's reached his threshold,
and I looked at him like, are you goddamn kidding me?
Couldn't wait.
I'm like, I came home. I made dinner. I told you it would be a while. And I told you, I was like, you could have, if you had a snack an hour ago, I wouldn't have said anything. You're literally having these 5 minutes before I take this out of the oven. I was like, you've got.
When the hunger sets in.
And he's like, babe, I'm hungry. What do you want me to say? Say you're sorry. Because I didn't have to go through all that.
I be snacking while Joe cooks. It's hard for me to wait.
2 Eggo waffles?
Never waffles. Never something I have to cook, but a pretzel situation.
Technically, they're Kashi proprotein waffles, but
yeah,
you know what I mean. Freezer.
Oh my god.
Freezer toaster waffles.
Were you mad?
Oh, I was mad. I was fuming.
Because you cook a lot? Rarely.
I mean, am I good at cooking? Yes. Do I love cooking? Yes. Do I do it a lot?
No.
But
Your
I'm trying to be
lifestyle
better.
But you guys are busy. You guys have different
Yeah.
schedules, and
Like having the ingredients helps. Like I know I can make this.
if you plan a dinner, sure.
Yeah.
There's like one thing I make in my house,
What is it?
and we call it zaddy soup. I've never told anyone this. Okay, it's just like vegetable soup, but I add hot sauce to it. So it was my dad's recipe. So we started saying zaddy soup with the Z.
Are you referring to Mr. Curtalone
No.
as Zaddy?
No, it's kind of yes, but no. And we just kind of accumulate over time, like over it being a joke. And so we're like, you making zaddy soup tonight? And it's just vegetable soup with hot sauce. So it's very good. So one thing I can make though.
What type of hot sauce?
Just Reds, Frank's. Nothing crazy. Really, it's just good. It's a good recipe, but it's like got a lot of flavor, got a lot of seasonings in it.
A little spice.
And it's just we love it for a good reset. If we be eating like shit and we need a pump full of vegetables in a good way, Zaddy's it is.
Only in a good way.
Only in a good way. Only in a healthy way that our body's craving it.
Drop the recipe.
I will drop the. I'm gonna write it right now.
Okay.
Drop the. This is a
reminder. Drop the recipe.
Drop Zaddy's secret sauce. Secret recipe.
I think she just said the secret sauce was Reds or Frank's, but
it is. But tell nobody. Well, I will drop that for my followers because you guys will thank me later.
Okay. Do your stupefy of the week? You got a little tiff?
I don't. I'll save it.
You'll save it.
I'll save it till we've processed it fully.
Okay.
Yeah. Because
Respect.
it's still fresh. I'm just gonna wait till Josie sees this one through, which will be at the end of this week.
Okay, good.
And we'll get to that. I'm gonna leave you guys on a cliffhanger here.
I can't.
But we need to process it fully and to fully to be done with it to see it through.
Oh yeah.
And I'll be able to. Yeah.
To get there.
Yeah.
Okay. Alternatively to our stupefy of the week, Josh and I have something actually exciting that's happening to us.
Are you dropping news right now?
I'm dropping news hot on the pod. Yeah, we're gonna buy a house.
Yay! We're getting out of Cher's house.
I know. Don't tell her.
Oh, I'm excited for you guys. So you guys found one?
No,
And
we got approved.
Yeah.
And so we're still kind of like, we don't want to rush it. I feel like that it's not something that like I care to deal with. I personally I don't think I'm very picky on a house. Like we're not super picky on location right now. Like we know that this is not going to be our forever home, which I think takes a lot of pressure off.
Yeah, for sure.
I feel like if we were searching for our forever home and we had 3 kids, it would be a lot of pressure buying a house in this market.
Absolutely.
But really I mean,
well,
we don't qualify for a lot, but really it was just.
But anything's better than, not that you're in the worst scenario, but you guys just being on your own, I think is just gonna be awesome for you guys.
I know.
I'm so stoked.
And it's really is cool. So we have a realtor, Garrett, it's a stepmom. So hey Karen, what's up, girl? But
we be shouting them out all the time on the pod.
But she's been sending us, she has the realtor links or whatever, and
awesome.
We kind of paired them down to probably 15, and then I was like, let's pick our top 5, and we picked the same 5.
That's oh wow.
It's so and this is something that it's just so nice that coming from being in a different relationship and it's just gonna be fine.
Mm-hmm.
We have the same exact house style, which is very eclectic, mid-century modern,
nice.
Lots of color. We don't want the house to be boring, and we want it to be fun and neon signs and bright colors, and we want it to I want it to feel like Barbie Dream House on acid, and we're kind of both in that realm.
Awesome.
And it's it really is. And it's a damn treat to be living life with Josh Pridemore. And I couldn't be happier about it. And buying a fucking house. We're not rushing it.
Awesome.
I'm hoping to within the next 6 months.
Awesome.
Is kind of but we've been approved, and
I'm so happy for you guys. This is super exciting.
So I'll keep you guys updated, but that's the deal.
That's the news.
That's the news.
That's in good news.
Yeah.
And in good news of things you love doing life with is green flags.
Yes. Let's segue. Time for the segue or what?
This is the meat of the episode, guys. We've done the red flags.
We've done
okay? And we're here to talk about the smaller big signs that your partner has the ability to make your life better, aka green flags.
Green flags. These are the things when you see them, you're like, ooh, yes. good sign. Good.
As you're
yeah.
getting to know them and
Yeah.
as you're with them, you're like, yes,
Yes.
this is something I may not have had in a past relationship that makes me realize
Yes.
that this person is someone I want to do life with.
I feel like we've been so prone to see like red flags specifically, like someone does something and you're like, But I think like it's also like healthy to see when you're on a date, like the green flags. Okay, I like that they did this. Did they tip 20%?
Oof.
I respect that.
Yep.
You know, maybe they were checking their phone throughout the date, but maybe they did other good things too. And it's like you're trying
Figuring it out.
figuring it out.
But like things that we should cue into, because I feel like it's also something we do as humans is we're always like looking for the bad.
Yes.
Right. And we really don't notice and celebrate the good.
Right.
And how those, weigh each other out when searching for partners and starting relationships. And I feel like this is a nice way to really hone in on the good shit.
Let's hone in.
Okay. Who wants to go first?
I'll have you go first.
Okay. My first one is, excuse me, when they are on your side.
Ooh.
And I think this is really important. It's kind of like, when they try to defend you, it's a major sign that they respect you. And this kind of goes with like half-hearted, jokingly, manner low-key embarrassing your partner. And I feel like this happens a lot in relationships. And sometimes you're like, you went too far there, babe. Like.
Can I speak on something real quick?
Absolutely.
So I don't know if you saw on TikTok, there was like the couch guy.
Yes.
Who the girl walked in and surprised him. So now we found couch guy's maker, which is a wine in the bathroom girl. There's a Taylor song that's going viral right now. It's like, please don't be in love. Yeah, it's her saying, "Oh yeah, I'm married now. I don't care." And it's like her first love just got engaged, but she's married. Mm-hmm. She's married now.
Relatable.
But she gets in the bathroom and she does that. It's like, okay, maybe relatable. If I was her husband, how embarrassing is that? Mm-hmm. I think everybody can relate to being like, I honestly couldn't relate. If my first love,
I know you be writing people off though.
I don't write people off, but if you got engaged, I'd be like, good for you because I've moved on. I've found love. Like it can be kind of like this, like, I don't know, reflect, but don't embarrass your partner.
Yeah.
For a TikTok sound.
Yeah.
Because it has gone mega viral, but I feel like that's
people dogged her in the comments. Though.
I just think it's disrespectful. It's not that it's not relatable. It's that it's disrespectful.
Right.
If you really are married.
Right.
Like I was hoping I'm like, is this a joke? Like, are you not really married? Is this kind of like a spoof?
Yeah.
But if you married, girl, that ain't it.
I think if you would run that by your husband. And like if you're out here for content, you'd be thirsty for content,
for content.
You'd be clout chasing. I get it, but I agree with that though. And there was this Reddit example, and I'm going to read it. My ex would tease me a lot and would tease me in front of his family. He would say things like, "Oh, she changed her outfit 3 times because she thought you guys would judge her, or she really didn't want to come over, but I convinced her." He'd be laughing and joking, but these things would be the truth. When I was going to meet my current boyfriend's family, I was really nervous in the car. I said, "Please don't tell them how nervous I am. It's so embarrassing." He looked at me in shock and said, "I'm on your side.
Yeah.
Why would I tell them that?" And it was like a freaking light bulb.
Yep.
And I can relate to that a lot. Like I get the, half-hearted joking, and we do that, with a grain of salt. I mean, I do this with Joe a lot, so it's kind of for me.
Yeah.
But no, I feel like I know that about Joe, though. Like, will 100% defend me, is 100% my hype man, is 100% on my side at all times. And I know that, especially around other people. Like, if you just know in a group of people that person has your back, a green flag, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah.
There was this quote by this matchmaker, and she said, "Kindness along with emotional stability is the most important predictor of satisfaction and stability in a relationship."
Yeah.
And I feel like that's true.
Yeah. And I think it's like, you want to be seen as a team. I think it's very it's very telling if you're in a relationship and it's like you're competing with each other for a story, for the truth, for like whatever. And it's like it's just like, this is very weird.
Yeah.
And I remember actually feeling like I did that a lot. Like I think Dave, haven't said that name. We almost slip up.
We almost have slip up.
But I did feel like because him and I were like never on the same page, I was like the queen of being like, that's not how it happened. That's not really what happened. That's not this. And then it's just like, it made for an awkward social interaction.
It does.
It's just like, relax.
Yeah.
Who cares? They're telling a story.
Dude, this happens a lot.
It never seemed like we were on, because it would always be little stuff.
Yeah.
And it was never like, oh no, baby, like, remember this? It was always like I was definitely annoying in that situation all night.
Yeah. I feel like I just did that this weekend. Because Joe is a storyteller and he exaggerates everything. And I'd be like, that didn't happen. But in no way to embarrass him. But yeah, that does happen. I feel like, obviously in bigger scenarios, or if like Joe would have that conversation with me and be like, hey, like, don't do that, you know, or like, that really embarrassed me. And he does. Like, if he'll be like, that put me in a weird situation, and I'll be like, okay, bet, like, never again, my bad, you know, like, but we definitely have open communication about that. But I do feel like that's just also like going hand in hand with like, oh, someone always having your back, knowing that they're like not out to get you in any way, or like to embarrass
or
you,
to one up you,
yeah. And I feel like that happens.
You're on the same team,
right?
And that is
a green flag.
A green flag for sure. My first green flag is when communication is easy from the start.
I put that in like its own category because I feel like obviously when you think of things you want in a relationship, or a green flag is just fucking open communication.
Open communication. Yeah. And like, I mean, even like for me, I feel like, I don't know if this is the most toxic. I was like, this might be toxic, but like truly in order for me to like bond with someone or feel like we have a friendship, like I have to know, like, tell me your trauma. Like,
could be toxic,
but I'm just like, let's get to know each other. And I truly feel like,
I think just openness.
Like, it's just like, what's your situation? And literally like on our second date, like Josh told me some of like the most serious, darkest shit. And I was like, okay, glad to know it. But it was just like, he was like, I've never been so comfortable to tell someone that before, like, in my life. And I'm like, here I am. To receive this at the Joker. The movie theater. Never forget.
Speaking of mental illness and the Joker, while we're on the topic here, but with it, I feel like, which I feel like is really on brand for what we stand for here on this podcast, is therapy is a huge green flag. And know that they're willing to work on themselves and, you know, discuss that with you as it comes is obviously fucking awesome and very much a green flag. I talked about open communication and discussing feelings, which is important, which is really hard for
it is really hard.
People in relationships, especially if you're working on yourselves. And we're always trying to protect ourselves. We're always guarding our heart, most people, you know. And I feel like something Joe and I have started doing that's really been helpful with us is because I'm not a great communicator. I'm like, I'll sit on it and then come back later with it when I've like already processed it, and sometimes I'll throw it out the window.
I was like, or you never come back with it,
right? Like, and I'll be like, oh, I'm over it now. But now we just use a lot of I statements, and that has been really helpful because sometimes Joe will be like, you know, you're acting mad, and I'm like, no, like you're acting annoyed. It's like, I feel like you're annoyed because you're doing this, you know. It's like, you can't tell me I feel a certain way. You have to tell me how you're perceiving it and why. Like, and we've kind of, you know, rewound some things and be like, hey, let's take this back and start again with some I statements because this is going blaming nowhere. Each other is not. Yeah,
because when you start doing like the you, like projections, you just get defensive.
Absolutely.
And you say, that's not true. And then it's just.
But it also like enters a disagreement with I don't know, like, hey, I want to sit down and talk about this. I'm feeling like this.
Yeah.
And instead of being like you said, the projections of you know, and it just kind of starts off rocky and more angry than it is coming from a point of understanding.
Yeah.
So that's just what's been helping us. And
I think like if we're trying to like relate this to like if you're in a new relationship, maybe you're on those dates, I feel like just, you know, from the jump if someone is like defensive or unwilling to like open up.
Yeah.
And I think like there's a difference between like guarding your heart and like just putting up a wall, right? Like there's a difference between like, oh, I don't know you super well yet, I'm not gonna tell you about, you know, all the shit that's gone wrong. And like, but it's like if you're with someone and you can tell that like they're asking questions, they're sharing things about themselves without necessarily being prompted to, they're talking about the future, like just different communication styles where it's like, okay, this can go somewhere. Because obviously, like on your second date, like you don't need to trauma dump onto somebody if you don't want to. If you
Even
do,
though Rach would prefer.
I would prefer it. I would truly, but I think, like, how would you gauge that? Like, you know, going back to like thinking about like you and Joe on your first dates, like how did you know that like, okay, I can talk to this person?
We talked. It was like the one thing I was attracted to. So we talked a little bit. We met on Bumble, talked a little about that, but quickly moved to text. And that text conversation was, I'm a very open person and I love to almost overshare.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just like my way of like letting you know that I'm an open book, so that like I want
feel safe.
I want to, and I want that to be reciprocated. I love deep conversations. I love feeling that way, connecting with people. And like our conversation via text was like pretty fucking open. And then on our first date too, it was like the best thing we ever did is switch over to that bar. We went, and it just really was like, now we're getting into some deep shit. Like, what do you really want to do? You know, are you where you want to be? My love for killer whales came out, and it was like, I'm really fucking passionate about it. It's just, and just stuff like that. And it was very much reciprocated. Oversharing, especially with alcohol involved. I will tell you my entire life story twice. And he definitely reciprocated that.
Right.
And I feel like that was
I think it is
connection.
about reciprocation too. It's like maybe you're not sharing the most deep shit, but like they're meeting you where you're at.
Exactly.
In the conversation.
Exactly.
It's not like being led by one person over another. It's like they're matching your energy.
Mm-hmm.
And I think those are always like,
and I can tell when people are reserved. And that for me is like, that means they don't like me. And I see that as that. I'm like, oh, maybe they're just guarded, or like, but I do feel like that's a projection of me. I'm like, oh, they don't want to open up to me. Yeah. You know, but that wasn't the case with Joe.
Yeah.
In other relationships, yes. But I guess that kind of leads to, because we were talking about disagreements. This is my second one. It's arguments without consequences / healthy disagreements is a green flag.
Yeah.
It was something I was never used to when I first started dating Joe. I was in a relationship where it was very much expendable at all times. Mm-hmm. We would, after every fight, it would be, we would break up, or he would just ignore me for 2 weeks or weeks on end, and I just wasn't sure where we would stand. And that sounds crazy, but that was my life. So that is very much comes from my fear of confrontation amongst other stuff in my life. But that's a big one. It's like, oh, we can't have this fight because, you know, something bad will happen after. And if you've been reinforced that enough in your life, you will very much avoid conflict.
Yeah,
right
here.
You
do. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm working on it, but it is something that I dealt with. But I feel like it is a really bad sign if your partner leaves lasting punishments on you as a result of arguments. Yeah. You know, like the end of the day.
It circles back to old arguments.
That's another thing. I put partners who keep a mental score are a big red flag to me. We don't do that.
Yeah.
We don't do
keep
that.
Score.
Yeah. Joe was always like, I'm not going to, you know, what does he say? I'm not going to like you all the time, but I'm always going to love you.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, that feels good. You know, I'm reassured. And like, as you know, as nasty as some fights can get sometimes, it's like, at the end of the day, like, we'll work through it. Like, I always feel that way with Joe, and I never felt that way with anybody else. But sometimes, like, also learning about Joe and his therapy journey, it's like knowing where he's at and learning more about him and some things that he deals with during fights, or like if he truly is panicking, and what I can do or what I can tell him to do to calm himself down is something that we're working through. Yeah. And it's been difficult, but that's the journey. Yeah, if you ask me.
For sure.
Another part that I wrote was what we want is to know that the relationship is more important to both of you than the disagreement.
Yes.
I guess that's more for me.
And like I've heard it like it's not me versus you, it's us versus the problem. That's something I say to Josh a lot is it's
I love
not me versus you, it's us versus this thing.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's, I mean, like it could be jealousy, right?
Yeah.
Like it's not me versus you if I'm feeling jealous over something or you're feeling jealous over something. It's us versus jealousy. It's like, how can we get rid of this issue, or how can we combat this issue together?
Yeah. Because
if you feel like you're constantly fighting your partner about something, that's not that's not a good base for like a healthy life, because
Yeah.
you have to feel like a team. You have to feel like you're approaching all of life's obstacles themselves, because if you can't do the hard shit, that's not a good sign. You
Yeah.
know? Like,
Absolutely.
I think even like you can kind of tell, like, I don't know if you've ever been around couples where it's like it's a joyful time and they aren't even able to experience joy together.
Mm-hmm.
That's always very scary to me.
Yeah.
Like seeing that, like whether that's people getting pregnant and them being on the different pages or like, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
It's like you should
Let's unpack this.
you should be able to experience joy together, and then it makes you wonder, like, how do they experience like turmoil?
Yeah.
Like, you want to feel like, you know, you're in the good times a teammate, in the bad times a teammate, and it's always like you versus the problem.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's something that Josh was like really like when I've said this before, but when we first started dating, and you know, I'm coming from a bad marriage, he's coming from years of bad
Things.
examples of love, and I was like, what are your ground rules? Like,
Yeah.
what? And he said, no physical abuse and don't cheat on me. And I was like,
Whoa.
well, that's kind of like an
stand-
unspoken rule. I don't think that needs
That's
to be
like standard of like
that's like blanket
human to human
Oh yeah.
shit.
And
Yeah.
I was like, I didn't think that physical abuse needed to be a
A ground.
ground rule.
Yeah. A deal breaker for you.
Yeah, I think that's just like
But that really shows where he was coming from.
very much.
Yeah.
And I'm coming from like I'm like micro. I'm on these like
Yeah.
this and that. Oh, okay. Actually, the stupid fight of the week. I didn't write it down, so I didn't remember. But this is actually so it was us being on the wrong page. But okay. Sorry to circle back to that, but I just remembered.
But I guess it goes with
what
healthy disagreements.
Yeah, healthy disagreements.
Being a green flag.
And so he got, you know, his waffles, whatever. And then I think the day before I had made food too, and he had like made some comments about it, like how it could be better or whatever. And then obviously I make dinner tonight and it's not on time. It's not like, you know, he said, it could be in a little longer. We should have put it in more. The potatoes could be softer, different things.
Mm-hmm.
And I snap. I'm like, what the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have to do this. I didn't have to make dinner. And now you're criticizing me.
Right. That's annoying.
And then I storm off into the kitchen and I take a deep breath and I was like, I walked back and I said, the reason why I am very upset about this is because this used to be every single mealtime with my ex. And I mean every single, whether it was breakfast, lunch, or dinner. It was always like, serve someone dinner. And then I was like Master Chef. It was like tell you everything that's wrong with the dish, and like,
oh my God,
yeah, and
you
how
make
to
your
make it
damn
better.
self.
Exactly. And so I was like, I definitely like some of that frustration was just me being triggered by that whole experience, because I was like, it's just not something that like when I after a day's work am cooking, it's like I don't need to cook to like impress you. Like
No.
this is something we're eating. Like it doesn't need to be the best meal of our lives, and like I don't want to feel like that.
Absolutely.
anymore.
Yeah.
And so he was just like
Interesting.
noted, and he's like, I'll never do that again, and I know he won't.
Yeah. Good.
And so like it's just funny how like things
But
like that.
I mean, what a long way you've come to take a deep breath, come back and be like, actually, and especially that quick.
Yeah.
You know, like you process that fast.
Well, I was feeling really mad.
Yeah,
and I was like
big feeling.
I was like, why am I so
Pissed.
mad?
Yeah.
I'm like, so what? He had some waffles. So what? He wishes the potatoes were softer.
Right.
And then I was like, this is why that happened.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like we're going on 3 years, right?
Yeah.
Of like, so you just forget some of the stuff that like
Mhm.
would upset you or would whatever, and then you're like brought back into it and you're like, oh shit,
Yeah.
that really used to bother me, that really used to upset me.
Yeah.
So I thought that was worth mentioning, but
Absolutely.
that I was supposed to provide that insight in the stupid fight of the week, but we're here now.
But I felt like it
flowed.
fit better
Yeah.
here.
Yeah. Okay, is it mine?
Yeah.
My turn.
You're next.
My second green flag is when they follow through,
Mm.
whether that's like small commitments, big commitments, whether they say like, yeah, I'll text you in the morning, and they actually text you in the morning, to I want to go to this, you know, game next month. Do you want to come with me? And they follow through. And I think that to me is like the most attractive feature in another person is when it's like, I can believe what you're going to say.
Yeah.
And surprisingly, like this is something that like Josh really had to work on in our relationship because he never really had people to hold him accountable. And I made it very known that like I'm not going to be in a relationship with someone I can't count on.
No.
But I mean, it's just about stepping up. Like then Josh stepped up.
No worse feeling than feeling let down.
Oh God, no.
Like, and I feel like that can happen too. Like even with like household chores. I mean, that's me in my first year of married life.
Yeah.
So that's the only thing I can relate it to though. If it's like you ask for something to be done and if it was like half-assed or like not done, you're like, that's a shitty feeling.
Yeah.
But that's just like a small problem. But truly though, like the follow through and knowing that they're gonna do what you asked or any of that is like such a good feeling. It's like, oh, I can depend on you through anything.
Right.
That's good.
Yeah. And it's not only following through on what you ask, it's following through on what they say, you know,
they're
going to do.
Mm-hmm.
Like Josh and I talk about that a lot is like, do something for you. Like this, like 30, you know, the 30-day challenge that we're doing, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yesterday, he really didn't want to do it. He was not in the mood. He had kind of a bad day. And I was like, okay. And he was like, I'll make it up tomorrow, or, you know, I'll add 15 minutes on. And I was like, okay. I'm like, for anything, I'm not going to guilt you into exercise ever.
No.
But I, you know, exercise, I did my time, and, you know, I had something, but anyway, he ends up working out, and I was like,
that feels good.
I asked him, I was like, what changed? Like, why? And he's like, I just saw a quote about, you know, you would take medicine if you had a headache, you would do things to help you. And sometimes like something like, he was like, you have to choose to show up for yourself every day. And I'm like, yeah. And I think that's something that like he has been working on a lot. And I find like that really attractive.
Absolutely.
Like, knowing your shortcomings and dedicating yourself to try to
I feel like
measure
that's
up.
Immense growth
on
Josh's end. In relation to Joe can do the same.
Yeah.
He'll be like, I'm doing it for you, Jess. I'm doing it for our future family, Jess. And he always does this. I'm like, do it for you. Do it for you, bro. Like, that doesn't change my life or my opinion or love for you. So that is actually doesn't make sense. And I have to remind him of that. Like, he also thinks like my love for him is expendable. And I'm like, nah, bruh, I'm married. Yeah. I'm married. I'm in it for the long haul.
Yeah.
I promise
through some
that.
shit. We've gone through it. Like,
like this is not the end all be all. So like what's attractive to me, and I say that to him, like, for you doing things for yourself.
Right.
And like, that's not selfish. That's fucking awesome.
Right.
That's fucking dope.
And because I think like a lie that people believe when they have kids is that like kids will change it. Kids will make me, getting married will make me. No, you are still stuck with you.
Yes.
You are stuck with you forever.
Mm-hmm.
Kids cannot be your motivation. You know, your
all of that
future
stuff is actually just going to make it harder if you ask me.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They get in the way of you being able to actually see yourself in the mirror and being like, that's who I am.
Right.
Because then you're suddenly, you know, not burdened, but, you know, like plagued with the titles of like, then you're a husband, you're a father, you're a, you know, lawyer, and then you struggle to be like, well, who's Joe?
Right.
Who's Jess? Who's Rach? Who's
right.
And all of like your reflection starts to get clouded by your titles.
Mm-hmm.
And I think like you have to be able to like see through your titles and be like, this
who
is who I am
at my core.
Who am I at my core?
Yeah.
And can I rely on me to show up for myself? And I think that's really what's getting Josh with this and like following through is like, I need to be able to rely on myself.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just so proud of him. And I love being with Josh. I love our relationship, obviously because I'm in it, but yeah, it's nice to see and like be on a growth journey. Like
2021
year of growth. We're hitting the end. What's 2022 going to be?
We'll leave that up to
the
year to unfold.
Yes. You're up.
Green flag. Remember whatever we're on. You like who you are when you're with them.
Ooh.
I say if your partner encourages negative traits, straight to jail.
Straight to jail.
Straight to jail. Like even destructive or dangerous shit that feels good in the moment, but you know it ain't good, straight to jail. I think it's important. I think a lot of people can say that they want a partner that brings out the best parts of yourself that you are most proud of. This is something that really stood out in Joe. And there are a lot of people that are responsible, including myself, for starting my own business. But if that dude didn't fucking push that shit on me, I'm telling you, I was like, had no idea. And I'm like in bliss, in love. And this guy's like, you can really fucking do this, Jess. You could, I literally was amateur, like literally the bottom of the barrel.
Yeah.
And went 0 to 100 in the course of 3 years. I mean, it took time for sure. And I give myself a lot of credit. It's not all him, but I'm saying like, he really encouraged that in a big way. And that was so dope. And like to say that I love who I am now. I love that I'm a photographer. I love that I own my business, and I love that he supports it 100%. That is fucking awesome. That's the biggest green flag, like for me and my relationship with Joe. But this also goes with supporting your personal growth, and this honestly kind of tags on to like therapy and working on yourself and doing things for you. And I feel like that was just a good add-on.
Yeah, for sure.
We talked about in the other, but you like who you are when you're with them.
Yeah. And I feel like that is really relatable in a lot of ways to me. And like, I think when you're with the right person, it's like they bring out almost like I felt like who I always was and like what like adulthood or what like certain traumas or whatever in my life like took away from me.
Yeah.
Like I remember feeling like I'm getting back to myself.
Aww.
You know, like I'm getting back to who I always was. And like that was like a really good feeling. And I feel like when they make you the best version of yourself, that is just like the best feeling. And like they bring out your good qualities, not, you know, your toxic ones.
Yeah.
And big fan.
Big fan. I feel like it was notable this weekend in Nashville.
Yeah.
Just like being with your friends, and you know how you like to impress me, like to impress my friends, or like, you know, like, but I didn't have to fake anything.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? I didn't have to put on a good face. I didn't have to worry, you know, or anything. I just was me being proud of me in my own skin. Finally, you know, like it felt good. I guess that's a good measure too of like being around friends. And if you're worried about the other person or, you know, anything like that, is like, I'm proud of me, but I'm also proud of him. Like I'm proud of who he is as a person, to be out with my friends in a very comfortable way. Is that your next?
It actually, and this, so it says brings you closer to your family and friends.
Yeah.
Your family, meaning if you have a really toxic relationship with your family, this, I'm sorry, does not apply to you, but apply it to your friends. But like the person that like when they're around, like when you're incapacitated, sick with motion sickness, you know that like Joe's going to carry the weight, carry the team, have fun. And like that to me is like when we were in Arizona at the wedding, like I just knew, like, you know, Josh and my mom fucking love each other. Laura and Josh together, like it, having him in my life healed so much of like family like rifts that really happened from me being with my ex, and from the marriage. The divorce, it was the starting to fix things with my family, but like my last marriage, and Josh just being able to like go into any situation, and I know that like solid I can count on him. You know, he'll will Grammy around in the wheelchair. He'll be who, like, he'll step up. And I know that like it's this weird like relief that,
absolutely,
like, of just being like,
I didn't think of this one, but it is honestly the biggest green flag, or just like such an attractive trait that your partner really just fits in with friends and family, friends and or family. But truly though, I felt like like I was gonna go lay down for a little bit. I was worried about him. Like, I have FOMO. Like, I just feel bad that we're hanging out, and
FOMO.
And Joe's just like, dude, no. Like, and he's out there kicking it with them, you know, and they're just chilling. But it's like, I didn't have to worry about him like feeling awkward, or he had to like come in the room. You know what I mean? In other relationships, or, you know, other people's issues. But it was like, no, he's going to hold it down.
When we were in Arizona, we ended up spending like 4 days with my sister. We all stayed up like at my uncle's cabin up near Flagstaff, and it was just like the 3 of us for like days. And like I mean, Laura and I obviously have fun together, but like it's just nice to know that like I know that we have more fun when Josh is there.
Mhm.
Like, I know that he adds something to our relationship. And like, I mean, it's like it's third relationship. Like, there's me and my sister, and there's me and Josh, and there's
Right.
the three of us together. And like, it's this nice, like, I just know that he has brought me closer to my family. Cause I think also with him, it's like this is the first healthy family dynamic. Obviously, every family has a chip, but like to him, he's like, this is the healthiest family in the world.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
You guys don't throw hair dryers at each other. Like, you guys are great. Like, yet. I did throw a brush at my sister's face once. But
If you didn't throw any items at your sister, you guys
that ain't
aren't
it.
true sisters.
Aren't true sisters.
Right.
The rage that would flow through my body.
It
I was bigger
bad.
than her, too. I'm 4 years younger, but I was bigger.
Oh,
I always
We
had a
used to-
good 20 pounds on
we
her.
used to beat the shit out of each
oh my
other.
God.
We still say this one quote that my sister, she was so mad at Britt and I, and Britt's like, I have to get in the bathroom to brush my teeth. And we quote this to this day, and we all do. It's just like stupid sister inside jokes. But she like throws out this like putty. I don't know why we have putty.
Kristen?
Yeah. She's like, brush with this. And she whips it at us. And we like dodge it in the hallway, look at each other, and bust out laughing.
Why
So-
can I smell the putty?
Me
Why
too.
do I know what it
Me
smells
too. As
like?
soon as I said it, I was
That
like,
light pink.
yeah, it was green.
Tan.
It was
Oh.
green, lime green. But we always say that to each other, like now, even like fucking 30s.
Brush
We're
your
like,
teeth with
brush.
this.
We're like, brush with this, and we just all start cracking up. I love that shit. Sisters, man, fucking love them.
Sister.
Okay, I have two small ones if we have time.
Yeah.
Okay, and then this is comfortable with silence and getting bored together.
Yeah. You
And
just
I-
gotta be.
I feel like your relationship takes a turn when you are comfortable with silence. I'm
Yeah.
gonna tell you, like, Joe's a talker. I
Yeah.
am a talker, but we both would like never be bored or silent or for a really long time. But I feel like it definitely takes a turn when this happens, and I feel like that's a green flag. Like you can be comfortable together,
Yeah. Just being.
just being,
Yeah.
just kicking it.
Yeah.
You don't always have to be doing something extravagant or impressing each other. It's like that point in the relationship where like, let's just be.
Let's just be who we are and
And I-
just be together.
Yeah, I wrote this like controversial thing that people always say, and I just wanted your take on it. And it's going to bed angry. When people give you that advice, did we
Yeah,
ever
don't-
talk about this?
don't
on
go
the
to
pod?
bed angry.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't think it fucking matters. Everyone's like, don't go. I just think it's a corny
Yeah.
thing to say to someone, but I'm like, I've gone to bed angry, and like we just worked it out the next day.
Yeah. Well, sometimes it's like you just
reach a point in an argument where you're
circles, one, if you're going to bed angry with the thought that like this is bugging them and you're getting off on that, I
Mhm.
think that's different than like they're gonna have to sit with this.
the punishment. Yeah, which is
But if it's more like, hey, we're going nowhere, maybe we're not gonna get the best night's sleep, but I need a break from this
Yeah.
conversation. I need us to be done.
that's something Joe and I do. We have to walk away.
Yeah.
Like there's some points where we're like, I don't want to be having this conversation, and I feel like that's my coping mechanism is like step away
Yeah.
from it or come back. And I try to push
Yeah.
that on Joe, but we're still working on his coping mechanisms.
Yeah.
He doesn't like to listen to them during the time, but
Yeah.
that is something I need. Like I just need space. I do because
But I think like it's about being, or if you're secure in your relationship,
Yeah.
you know there is a tomorrow. You know there is a morning. You know there is grab the cup of coffee. Hey, we're
Exactly.
gonna get
like
right back,
he's not gonna
right back where we left off.
truly, and it's like he's not gonna speed off and not
Yeah.
talk to me for 2 weeks, and
Yeah.
I know that, and I'm secure in that, and
Mhm.
that's why I can go to bed
Yeah.
with
I-
shit on my mind.
Like I feel like some of the worst things I've said to people are like due to like sleep deprivation or like being cranky. Like
Yeah.
I'm cranky.
yeah,
Like Josh is cranky in the mornings. I'm cranky at night.
Mhm.
It's
Like,
like
not a good time.
I'm known to start shit at night. If I'm feel something brewing, you count on me. I'll
Listen,
start it
I know to steer clear of rage during the
Past
during
9
the during
p.m.
the wee hours.
past 9 p.m.
During the wee hours of the night, we just don't
Don't-
fuck with her.
Don't bring anything up. Don't talk to me about your sauna suit.
Oh my god,
1999. You basically made money, Rach.
dude! I'm just getting flashbacks to what's that? Silver Linings Playbook.
Yeah, it's that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Here's my last one,
Yeah.
and it's kind of a small one, but this was really one that like I don't know. This might just be a me thing, but like posts / brags about you on social media, or if they don't do social media, just like to friends and family.
That goes with like biggest hype man
Yeah, biggest hype man. I really feel like
or woman.
yeah, or woman.
We don't discriminate.
Heterosexual relationships. Sorry about it.
Lame.
Lame.
We know.
But I really do feel like that to me, like really, and it's just, it might just be a me. This is how I feel like love or whatever. But
Same.
when like Josh posts our pictures on his, you know, it's
I
just
know.
like,
I was like,
know that, like you like being with me.
are compliments my love language? Do I like
Yeah.
receiving that? Yes.
Yeah. I think it's just like, I like that he feels like I'm an impressive person to be with.
Absolutely.
Like he loves.
I don't think I could be with anyone who like wasn't obsessed with me.
Yeah.
That sounds fucking crazy.
You were though.
I know. But that's why it didn't work out. I was never satisfied or
Yeah.
didn't feel like it was right.
Yeah.
So lucky we are.
Yeah.
Green flags.
Green flags.
Last one, super, I feel like it's short, but I feel like it's worth noting, having a healthy balance of spending time without each other.
Ooh.
As a 7, I love my alone time.
And that's all about security.
Yeah.
Feeling secure enough to be like, we don't need.
Yeah.
We can do our own thing tonight.
We know
don't
our
have to-
our
Yeah.
6s struggle with this, but we be independent.
Yeah, I'm all right.
You're all right. We're all right.
We're all right.
I just need some time alone. I just
Yeah.
need to say it. Joe never knows. Like, I'd be getting like irritated at things, and then I just have to say, he's like, "Oh, that's all you needed to say. I'm out. You know?" He's like, "Oh, okay." But like, I just needed to say it, and I guess that's good for me working on how I feel in my communication. Like,
Yeah.
just to say that, and maybe I like hold back because I'm scared, like afraid to hurt his feelings or something. But I feel like it doesn't. We both know that it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
That was a good episode.
I feel good about that.
Me
Green
too.
flags.
Green flags.
You
The
know what we're going to
positives.
do now. We're going to put up a little question box, talk about your green flags.
Yeah, I want to hear them.
Yeah, because we always like hearing your guys's.
We do read them.
We do read them.
Take them into consider.
Yes. But yeah, we hope that you guys, like, whether you're approaching dating or if you're doing a little tune up, a little checking in,
A little take a peek. If you're taking a peek.
about your relationship, make sure people are ticking your boxes and giving you those green flags, and just take a peek.
Yeah.
See
not
how-
all relationships
look
are
under the
this.
hood.
Yeah. Not all relationships are the same. And not to say like these are must have green flags. And
Yeah.
if they don't, they're
These are
red
ours.
flags. No, these are
These
are things that we've thought about and green flags that we kind of hang on to and love. But
And I think they change as your
They do.
relationship grows, as you grow, as you get older. Like, you know, there are certain things that you're like, yeah, I couldn't live without that.
yeah.
And we wish the best for you. Only. Truly. Always. Is that the end?
And that's a wrap. This is For Better and Worse with Jess and Rach.
And
We're out.
we out.
I say